75 cases total, 22 hospitalizations, and only one death. Now McDonald's is putting back all the quarter pounders in these 10 states. And now it's now it's in New Mexico, Utah, Colorado, Kansas, Wisconsin, Michigan. All these states with only one death. 75, 20 hospitalizations. But what's the source of this? The slivered onion. Taylor Farms is being investigated, and the FDA has been investigating this, and now they're putting back all the quarter pounders in their restaurants. So let's take a look.
Hey, Hoda, good morning. So in its strongest language yet, McDonald's is now calling those raw onions served on the quarter pounder, quote, the likely source of this E. coli outbreak that's now sickened 75 people across 13 states. This after the Colorado Department of Agriculture yesterday announced they've tested fresh and frozen beef patties from across that state, which is home to dozens of these cases, and said all of those tests on the beef came back negative for E. coli. So as a result, McDonald's now almost entirely shifting its focus to California-based onion supplier Taylor Farms, who said in a statement on Friday they're saddened by the outbreak and have issued a preemptive recall. So in the midst of all of this, as you said, McDonald's, after pulling the quarter pounder from the menu, now says it's bringing it back nationwide, noting it will just for now be served without onions in several states. McDonald's president overnight releasing a new video apologizing to customers and stressing the food served in their restaurants currently is safe. This as the company faces mounting lawsuits, with at least 2 by our count filed so far, and one attorney telling me he's been retained by 31 families.
Hoda. All right, Maggie Vespa for us there in Chicago. Maggie, thanks.
Hey, thanks for watching. Don't miss the Today Show every week.
Okay, so now what we know so far is that most of the states are being sued by the Golden Arches, not by Texas. I mean, we're not serving the quarter pounder because of those lawsuits. And now we'll never know. We'll never know when we're getting it back until probably all the lawsuits are being dealt with. You know, there's a lot of lawsuits happening, and you know, it's what we're dealing with. I mean, 3 days ago there was a Nebraska woman who sued McDonald's over a quarter pounder. I mean, it went on since last week, and it was negative. And Taylor Farms saying that they're sorry about this. Well, sorry is not enough. You know, you may feel sad saying you're sorry. It's not going to help. I mean, you need to know the difference between cooked food and raw food. If you're working at fast food restaurants, you need to know the difference between cooked and raw. Or if you're cooking in the house, it's the same difference. It's not just all about cooking. You need to know health and safety. You know, always wash your hands. Never cross contaminate that same knife you're gonna cut chicken in with cutting with cooked meat, cutting raw meat with cooked meat. You know, cross contamination. It's exactly what's going on. As we've shown you through Dirty Dining, critical violations are something that can make you sick. And look, you may not believe what's going on. You may not believe what I have to say here, but as an employee of McDonald's in Texas, I can vast tell you, you know, I never cross-contaminate. I always abide by the procedures and the rules. I always abide by the rules and abide by the laws of the state. And, you know, we have to deal with the fact that, you know, no one knows all about cross-contamination. So if you're going to bring back those slivered onions, you need to put them on the grill. You can't combine raw and cooked. That's basic common sense. What are we thinking here, you know? If you were suggesting McDonald's, if you came up with a good suggestion saying, maybe we should cook the onions with the cooked burger, that way there will be E. coli. And someone next to you will be like, yeah, you know, that's a great idea. And someone agrees saying, yeah, that's a great idea. And everyone's yeah, that's a great idea. And they're like, yeah, and what was the yeah, no, I don't want that to happen. No, I want to do it the way the company does it. You cook them, you saute them, 4 to 5 minutes in oil, just to have it cooked. I mean, it's like, how long do you cook it for? What temp does it need to be? That's a good question, you know? Some of the raw onions have bacteria in them. And when you cook out raw stuff, you're basically cooking out the bacteria. That's what it is. Bacteria can start to grow and it can make you sick. It can always make you sick if you eat the wrong hamburger and don't rinse your vegetables. And last week we took a second look at E. coli from 3 stories: apple juice, vegetables, and even in our meats. You know? We've all lost common sense here, you know? Don't combine raw with cooked. It's just that simple. You're setting bad examples out there. Outrageous parenting styles, and even today's parenting and yesterday's parenting. Stay with us. If you own this fire pot in your home, not so fast. You may want to take a look at this story before you go out and buy your first fire pot. Because it's all about, you know, bring an abundance to your home. But did you know it can actually blow up? You're about to see some horrific images of injuries from these fire pots. And really the question is, what is the company doing to prevent this from happening again? Here's Lisa Guerrero.
It's the hot new way to add ambiance to your home. They're called fire pots. They're smokeless, easy to use, and fueled with rubbing alcohol. But experts say if you don't use caution, this can happen, as seen in this demonstration. This elderly man was relaxing on his patio when this happened. A shower of flames rained down on him.
Like, just a wall of fire.
Glennis Bogda says she was engulfed in flames in 2019 when her fire pot suddenly exploded.
The fire was everywhere. Like, I saw the flames on my shoulder.
She suffered burns on over 40% of her body.
How does that affect you now as a woman when you dress, when you prepare to go outside? Like, how do you feel about your body now?
I feel disgusting. Every day when I wake up and I take a shower and I look in the mirror, I feel disgusting. And I cover it up as much as I can.
Do you want to show me your hand? It just looks so painful.
It's so painful in here.
She's now suing the manufacturer, Flicker Fire. In court papers, they deny allegations in her lawsuit that the product is unsafe.
Shouldn't be on the market. It's so dangerous. It's unbelievable.
Glennis's lawyer says that the Flicker Fire Pot is prone to flame jetting, a deadly phenomenon that he says can occur while refueling.
It's refilling it when it's hot that is particularly dangerous, and it's because the isopropyl alcohol vaporizes, and that vapor is highly explosive.
Travis Serra is the creator and CEO of Flicker.
This never really flares up, it never really whooshes up to singe your eyebrows or anything.
On their website, he insists Flicker pots are safe and enjoyable when used according to instructions.
Once you take this seriously, you are inviting fire into your home, and we really read all of this, please.
The instructions come with 20 different warnings, including one that says you should always extinguish fire before adding fuel. It even comes with this top to extinguish the flame. The Hampton, Connecticut Fire Department showed us what can happen if you add fuel to another manufacturer's fire pot before the flame is totally extinguished. A jet of flame shoots out like a flamethrower.
This here is an open flame that burns extremely clean and clear. You will not necessarily know when it is completely extinguished.
Fire Chief Jeff Naples says it's critical you completely snuff out that flame because even a spark could lead to a disaster.
So if you're thinking about getting those things for Christmas or for the holidays, take extra precautions. Always take extra precautions. We always never take extra precautions because really because we're all ready, we're all ready for this to set the third. And there's things people need to understand here, and that is, take extra precautions and follow the instructions on the booklet. Half the time, no one follows the instructions, and all of a sudden, poof, they're dead. Well, this week's the first week of early voting when election comes in. And there's probably people out there saying that you should vote for them because of their own community. Tonight, you're going to meet 5 of the candidates who say you should vote for them. And look, we're not trying to tell you who to vote for. It's just a suggestion. It's just a suggestion being made. So, which one would you vote for? Here's my good friend Tony Halamir.
I'm Tony Hadamio, your Southside neighborhood news reporter. Gil Hernandez and David Pena are asking voters to put them on city council representing District 5. I spoke to both of them and asked them the same questions about why voters should choose them.
Question 1. What strategies do you have for managing growth on the South Side while ensuring resources for existing communities? Incumbent Gil Hernandez says, for starters, it's important to project increased traffic needs as the city grows. He adds,
so that was the reason for the expansion of Rodfield, the widening of Yorktown, and eventually going over into Flower Bluff. We're going to widen that bridge with the help from TxDOT.
David Pena believes the focus has been on new growth and not on existing neighborhoods.
There's a lot of neighborhoods that have been, I'm saying older, but we're talking about 20, 30 years old, not real old, and they look terrible. They're in bad shape. We need to refocus our efforts on some of the existing neighborhoods as well as new neighborhoods and new growth.
The next question. What are your priorities for addressing infrastructure needs in District 5, especially in terms of road and drainage improvements? Hernandez started by reminding that he supports Proposition F, which he says is
the repurposing of the seawall fund to be for flood mitigation fund throughout the city. So that would be add another $9 million to the $36 million that we're using for stormwater currently.
Pena says that streets and infrastructure are his priorities.
We've got some draining issues that need to be addressed, especially on the south side of town with all the new growth. So we're behind on that for sure. Need to look at our drainage issues and address them.
Last but not least, why should District 5 residents vote for them? Hernandez cited that he has 6 years representing that district.
The police training academy, the new swimming pool at Bill Witt, the expansion of Rodfield Road, the widening of Yorktown. I think for the most part, I've been very effective as a city councilman for District 5.
Pena says he would be accountable to voters.
I think accountability is a big reason to vote for me. It's clear what I do for a living. I've got 3 businesses. I'm self-employed. My money's coming from my work. When you look at some of the other candidates, specifically in District 5, it's kind of a vague area. It's a gray area.
My conversation with Gil Hernandez and David Pena both went on a lot longer than what you saw in this story. Go to ChrisTV.com to check out a full, unedited version of both interviews. From the South Side, I'm your neighborhood news reporter, Tony Hadamio, Chris 6 News.
We're going to have that for you on Wednesday. As we continue the early voting series, when election hits it. Meaning, when it happens, we'll let you know. So my thanks to Tony Halamir for that report, and mind you, he's a good friend of mine. Coming up, outrageous parenting styles along with today's parenting with the old parenting. How do you decide whether to discipline a child and what's the right discipline method for you? Please stay with us. Look, as parents, we want to do what's best for our kids. But what about being a helicopter parent? You know, trying to be like the little Snoopy, like little Snoopy around here, like, you know, trying to help you out with some stuff like your homework and your little league team. I mean, there was just one guest on Dr. Phil, and she was like saying, if you put my son on the bench, I'm gonna put you on the newspaper. You put my son on the bench? Hello, Mr. Newspaper. I got a story for you. My son's going to put him on the bench because he would not go up to bat. Mom up the bat. Mom comes in, starts the bat. Ugh. Yay! There's nothing funny about outrageous parenting, but it's just helicopter moms are trying, you know. I mean, it's just outrageous parenting styles. The type of this is just, you know, parents who embarrass their kids and helicopter moms to moms who are losing it. So let's look at this helicopter mom.
Mom, I'm just making lunch. What are you doing? I know, but sweetheart, let me do it for you because I'm almost 13. I think I can cut a cucumber. I know, but you could cut yourself and hurt yourself. Mom, you're being ridiculous. No, I am not.
Hey, thank you. Now, what were you making? A BLT? What? Oh.
Does that sound like good parenting to you? Well, you should go to kidsinthehouse.com, where you can find more than 10,000 parenting videos from more than 500 doctors like myself. Kidsinthehouse.com.
I mean, there's even a show called, like, Real Families. Like, you know, an overprotective mom passes fears on to her children. This is from,
All children depicted in this
World's Worst Mom. No offense, I mean... Let's look at the moms who are, I mean... It's the dangers of helicopter parenting. And for crying out loud.
We are coddling.
It's just... If you keep on helicoptering your child, they're not going to know how to cook, clean, like make a sandwich. It's like you see your 12-year-old cutting some veggies, and you're like, oh my gosh, he's going to cut herself. I better step in. Give me that. Are we trying to make BLT? Don't be overprotective of your kids. You know, they're learning as they go. Don't do their homework. Let them do their homework. Yeah, we'll get to that helicopter mom in just a minute. But it's also coddling. There's helicopter parenting and there's coddling.
You're not gonna battle.
That you're doing
Than my child. That was 30 years ago, the way you raised your child.
That you're doing this to make yourself feel better instead of doing it because it prepares him for the next level of life.
It's just no one knows all about parenting styles, you know?
It all for him, and I love it.
Those are all buzzwords for a parenting style that many blame has helped create a generation of young people who think they can wind their way to success. I'm talking all ages. Gina was 40 years old when she learned her son's adoption at birth was official. She says she couldn't imagine ever loving a child more than her miracle little boy.
It's like you gotta let the child leave the nest here, and the child won't even leave the nest. All the parents here just, we're not gonna play the whole thing. Helicopter parenting is just like, do their homework. Do their homework and, all this and that. Raising lambs for the slaughter. It's like, this person doesn't know how to do this. Well, mama steps in and protects the child. Of course we want our moms to protect us, but we don't need overprotection. But what are the dangers of helicopter parenting? Let's take a look.
You might have heard of helicopter parenting. It's a fairly common style of parenting that is not effective, and it has a lot of adverse effects. But it's becoming more and more prevalent every year. In this video, I'm going to share some of the dangers of helicopter parenting, and I want to introduce some ideas that I think are much more useful and powerful. So let's get started. We've all heard the term helicopter parenting. These are parents that stand over their kid's shoulder, directing every move, obsessing about their children's success, and making sure they can correct mistakes immediately. Helicopter parents are overly protective and overly involved, but they see this as being a good parent. It's seductive because they're definitely some of the most hardworking parents you'll ever find. In fact, many see parenting as their ultimate purpose of being in this world. Well, there are three types of behaviors that exemplify a helicopter parent. Number one, over-involvement in your child's daily life, like needing to know where they are at all times, helping them make all decisions. These are parents that are micromanaging the living daylights out of their kids' lives. Number two, directly intervening in any and all of their kids' conflicts. If they make a bad decision, like forgetting to turn in their homework, that parent is there to make sure the teacher knows and the kid gets the grade. You don't let your child handle it, you handle it yourself. If the kid has conflicts with their friends, the parents are intervening. Number three, helicopter parents limit their child's autonomy. These are parents that control their kids' lives, make decisions for them, and if the kid makes a decision they don't like, the parent will not support that decision at all. You can find a lot of books addressing the topic of helicopter parenting and why it's not that great. There's a lot of research showing that it actually keeps kids socially and emotionally immature, inflexible, anxious, dependent, and self-conscious. These kids are more self-critical and more depressed. Nobody wants this for their kids. So if you find yourself falling into this category, you need to really consider your approach and work on changing. Another aspect of helicopter parenting is that these parents are working way harder at solving their kids' problems than the kids themselves are. You are essentially sending the message that you need me to solve all of your life's problems. You can't do this on your own, and you will never be safe without me. Let me illustrate this with an example. I recently spent some time with an almost 18-year-old young man who had stopped attending school. He was depressed, anxious, and self-medicating with a lot of marijuana. The story I got was that this boy had grown up as a really high-achieving, very bright young man. He was a star athlete, and he was a star in just about anything he did. That is until about a year ago, when he started to crash and burn. At this point, he's sleeping all day, he's refusing to do anything around the house, and he's missing huge amounts of school. This was a boy who was previously on the Ivy League track, and now he's doing nothing. His parents have tried everything. They even tried putting him in a short-term 6-week residential treatment program. Well, he was angry that they put him there, and he complained daily to them the whole time he was there. Before he returned home, he agreed to a behavioral contract that involved attending school, not using drugs, and eating dinner with his family every night. When he got home, that lasted for 9 days, and then he was back to these old behaviors. Well, after several more months of not attending school and getting high almost every day of the week, his parents talked him into going back and attending the same treatment program again. It took a lot of effort on their part, and they essentially lied to him. They told him that if he'd just go for a few weeks, they'd buy him a car when he got home. Well, their plan all along was they were just hoping that he would get with the program, and then he would want to stay in treatment because he was feeling better. But it did not turn out this way. He was so angry about being there, primarily because of the structure and rules that were in the program. But all he did was complain and then threaten his parents that if they didn't take him home, he would emancipate from them. Well, this turned into another early exit with the same behavioral contract, and this time he lasted for 3 weeks. Well, a few months later, I was called to come work with his family. He was skipping school, and he's now expressing feelings of depression, anxiety, and hopelessness. I spent the day with this boy. I found him to be remarkably bright, but he was angry, irritable, depressed, and unmotivated. He was angry at his parents, and he basically blamed them for all of his problems. While I was with him that day, I probably received 15 text messages from his mother asking me, how is he responding to you? She was letting me know in various ways how supportive they were of him. They would do anything for them. She kept sending me messages over and over, letting me know that they would do anything. They were unbelievably willing to help him and do whatever was needed. But this was, in fact, both the truest fact of the matter and perhaps one of the biggest obstacles that they were dealing with. They just didn't realize that part of the issue had to do with how willing they were to help and how hard they were working at it. They were, and they had been for his entire life, over-functioning for this boy. I would say they were working much, much, much harder at getting him better than he was working at it. The funny thing about it was, he resented them for all of the over-functioning they were doing for him, but at the same time, he demanded that they do this, that they take care of him, they give him whatever he wanted. Let me sort of tell you what a typical day in his life was like. So he would wake up, he would refuse to go to school because he was too tired and depressed. And so there was his mom every morning, literally trying to cheerlead him out of his bed, and I mean literally. She was honestly so pleasant about it. But this cheerleading included waking him up, offering to make him breakfast, and begging him to go to school. She just so badly wanted him to finish high school, she'd do anything to help him. Well, he was irritated by this. He resented her every morning. He resented her attempts at waking him up. And he would ask her to leave him alone. That's all he ever really wanted, actually, was for her to leave him alone. Well, except for the one time that she had a work meeting that lasted into the evening, and then he berated her for coming home so late. Why do you think he was mad? Because he couldn't find anything to eat. Normally, she made him all of his meals. Before we move on to the next part of this video, I want to thank you for watching this video. Are you struggling to communicate with your child how to discipline them effectively? You know, none of us is given a manual when our kids are born telling us what to do in every situation. We learn by trial and error. Well, that's what this channel is all about. It's about using my system of correcting and connecting to build a strong, trusting, and influential relationship with your child. If that's the kind of thing you want to know more about, then like this video, subscribe to my channel, and share this with your friends. Now let's get back to this story. How do you change if you're a helicopter parent? What do you do if you're over-functioning for your child? Well, here's 3 ideas for you. Number 1, I know this sounds simple, stop it. If you're doing this, do whatever you can to stop. Get professional help if you have to, but you have to stop this because you are actually creating the problems that you're facing. Don't do things for your kids that they can and should be doing for themselves. For example, if your child struggles with math, please do not do their math homework for them. Don't write their essays for them. How many times have I seen this over the years? You must allow them to struggle and encourage them to persist when things get difficult. Be willing to allow your kids to have pain. Number 2, never intervene and stop consequences from happening due to your child's behavior or lack of behavior. For example, if Susie did her homework but forgot to turn it in, now she has makeup homework to do, let her experience that consequence. Number 3, when your child has a problem, ask them to come up with a creative solution to resolve it. Teach them to think independently, and by all means, quit giving them the solution to everything. The dilemmas they have now are minor in comparison to the dilemmas they'll have as adults, and the more they can learn to problem solve, the better. Are you looking for a more effective way to connect with your child and build long-term positive influence? Maybe your child is misbehaving or going through a difficult phase, and you struggle to know how to discipline them, or even sometimes just how to reach them at all. My name is Dr. Todd Corelli, and I have spent the last 25 years as a clinical psychologist working primarily with children, adolescents, young adults, and families. I have worked with thousands of families around the world, and I have seen the challenges facing families today. That's why I've created a 4-part video series that is completely free to watch and available online for immediate viewing. This will help parents become more effective at bonding with and positively influencing their children. This system is completely unique and highly effective. I have seen this system benefit my own family and so many others, and I want your family to have this too. So just go to the link in the video description below, or you can go to correctandconnect.com, enter the details, click the button, and I will send you immediate access.
But now we've seen all about, now we've dealt with helicopter parenting, it's mostly outrageous parenting, so now it's all about, you know, the yelling and the arguing in front of your child, you know. I mean, there's more to these outrageous parenting styles, and, you know, when we return, we're going to have more, like, you know, brat kids, brat camp. Maybe. We'll be right back. Stay with us. Welcome back. Tonight we're dealing with outrageous parenting styles. And along with that, we're putting family in family first. That's right, like I talked about at the beginning of the season, we're going to do family first. And I'm going to give you a sneak preview of what we got coming up for you this week. Because I believe we could put family first by taking back control and living in peace. Inspired from Dr. Phil and his book, Family First, we're going to put family first. Family always comes first. You got to have a rhythm. Parenting is about a partnership, not about like, oh, this, that, the third. So with that in mind, the question is, how well do you know your child? We'll get to that question in just a minute, but first, some other outrageous parenting styles. You might remember last week we showed you some horrific video of a Texas judge who beat his daughter because of an incident that happened. We showed you that video. Her name was Hillary Adams. And she was on video because she was being spanked by her father. That's discipline styles. I don't condone spanking. As we talked about lots of years ago, it confuses the child and it teaches them nothing. Y'all supposed to love me. Y'all supposed to be there for me. And now you're inflicting pain on me. And there's also people that just want to be entitled, you know. All they do is give, you know. Spoiled kids. I mean, when you get children that are entitled, they have to learn that it's a privilege. And, you know, that has to be earned a step at a time. Things like computers, TV, video games, all of that. It's all privileges. It's all a privilege, not a right. What your child needs is a room with a bed, a pillow, and blanket, and for him or her to live in a warm and dry, stable environment. Food, clothing, academics. That's all. It's what CPS would tell you. You need a roof over your head, food and water. Nobody needs the games. Take those away, because that's what happens. Now we focus in on outrageous parenting styles and disciplining your kids. Here's a question for you. How well do you know your kids? How well do you communicate with your kids? Well, here's a sneak peek as our... Mind you, we're going to present this whole special. We're going to present this whole special for you Wednesday and Friday, called Family First. So here's a preview with the question of how well do you know your kids? Take a look at this one.
We invited 13 children between the ages of 4 and 6 to participate in our experiment to see how well their parents knew them. We installed our cameras behind a two-way mirror to watch their every move. A few of our parents didn't seem to know their kids at all. First, let's see how Bailey's mom, Deanna, describes her son.
Bailey, he is 6.5. He's an exceptional kid who's super, super smart. He's very loving. He gets along well with other kids. He's not a vindictive child. He doesn't generally lash out at other children and try to hurt them on purpose. I'd be very surprised if he got into a fight.
We invited Bailey's mom to our studios for a private screening to review what our hidden cameras revealed about Bailey's real behavior. As soon as Bailey gets in the room, he starts fighting. That's not the only boy he hurt.
Are you okay?
The basketball net didn't stand a chance against Bailey. Looks like there's another side to Bailey's behavior you don't know about. Okay, tell me what you think.
I don't know if I can speak right now. I'm appalled by my own son's behavior. This is not the child that I normally see.
Well, let's take a look at this. Does that seem aggressive to you?
Very aggressive.
Because you said he gets along well with others.
Normally.
Now, you say he's not a vindictive child, correct?
Well, that's what I thought.
And well, let's see. See, you can't change what you don't acknowledge.
Right.
So
This I would want fixed, definitely.
Yeah, sure.
I want all this fixed.
okay. I'm a strong believer that parents today are disconnected from their kids in a lot of different ways. That is your child. Is that okay with you?
No, absolutely not. It's not okay with his father or me, but we would never normally let him in that type of situation without watching him closely.
But he's going to be in situations where you can't watch him all
Right,
the time.
You're right.
I don't think your son is some kind of dysfunctional, out of control monster that needs intervention. Will it get to that point if you as a parent don't plug in and get involved? Absolutely, no doubt. The difference between what Bailey does at 6 and what he does at 14, 15, and 16, he's not throwing a block, he's driving a car. What most parents do is they talk to children about what not to do. Don't you throw chairs, don't you throw blocks. What you need to do is talk about what he can do. Here's how you do behave in this situation. This isn't about being a boy, this is about being an out of control boy. You need to talk specifically about helping him to develop empathy, where he understands, I want you to tell me how the little boy felt when you hit him in the head with a block. It's important that we develop in children the ability to understand the impact of their actions on the other children. We know you're a loving and devoted mother, so it's not about blame, it's just about accountability. All right?
Thank you.
Thank you. Next, I brought in Brea's mom, Cindy, to see how well she knows her daughter. Let's take a look at what you told us about her.
Okay. My daughter is Brea and she's 6 years old. Brea is full of life. She has a lot of energy. I think Brea gets along really well with other kids. She likes to steal the show. I would be surprised if Brea just sat still and was bored.
Hi, Dr. Phil.
And she's a flirt.
Yes, that is true.
Let's take a look at her in a play situation.
You guys like puzzles? Everybody pick a partner. Everybody needs a partner.
Kids are playing with puzzles. Brea's playing alone.
I'm shocked.
Kids are all playing together. Brea's off to the side, looking bored. Considering the chaos in the room, Brea's behavior may be perfectly normal and adaptive. She is, after all, the only one creatively playing alone. But it's still very different from the behavior that her mother predicted, and in fact may indicate a lack of confidence.
I am so shocked.
Tell me about that.
I would never expect her to be sitting by herself. That really is not how she acts around me. And that's really not how she acts at school either.
You guys like
Well,
puzzles?
let's take a look here.
Does everybody pick a partner?
Everybody pick a partner. She never even moved.
Yeah, she didn't.
So what do you not know about Brea?
I guess I don't know her.
I think everything you've said about her, that she is energetic and life of the party, I'll bet you that that is all true and accurate. But I'm wondering how much of that is a function of A, that she draws power from you, and B, when she's in a situation that she has to create her own experience, that she may lack the confidence to do that. The reason that that would be of interest to me, if I were you, is you guys have just moved, correct?
Right.
That could be a difficult transition time for her. It might be good ahead of time to maybe take some steps to make this transition a little easier for her, such as going to her new school before it opens, spending some time out on the playground. You can also ask the teacher for a class roster and find out who lives close to you in your neighborhood and ask if the children could come over. Then when she walks into the school, she knows this kid and this kid and this kid, and oh, there's Miss So-and-so. I've got a handle on this.
I would have never thought of those things to do because I think maybe I've just expected a lot. So I'm going to be aware of that now.
So do we have a plan?
We have a plan. Thank you.
When we come back.
Wow. So that's a little sneak peek of what's going to be coming up Wednesday and Friday. So look for Family First as we delve into from getting to know your kids, family arguments, to even raising a serial killer, to even raising your child's IQ. But the biggest one ever is the teenage years, you know. How do you raise a difficult teenager? Next. The whole reasoning why I'm doing Family First for Give Me a Break is because for one purpose. Common sense. We've lost it, you know. As parents, we want to figure out how we can raise our own kids. Experts will tell you these are the things you're doing wrong. I mean, there is one thing that I remember. Okay. Think back to, did you watch the episode of Dr. Phil where Jessica, known as the hot sauce mom, we're not going to play you that tape. It's really explicit. But I'm going to describe it to you. We're not going to watch it, but I'm going to describe it. If you watched it, okay. But if you didn't, I'm going to describe you. It was a story of a child who lied, who pulled a yellow card because she was fighting about the was throwing pencils, and the child hadn't, and Jessica hadn't know, so she went to the bathroom, and even then, what happened next was like, Open. Spit. But don't swallow. It's like, okay, spit out. Okay, get in the cold shower. Get undressed, take a cold shower. Why a cold shower? You not pull 3 times. You make good choice, bad choice. That is abuse. CPS can get involved like that. It was 13 years ago that this mother was on trial. And seriously, I would never just because you have a child does not mean that you get to discipline him or her any way you want. You know, there are other ways to discipline a child. A timeout, taking away a privilege, reprimands in a strong voice. In a work, they say, you just have to keep doing it. Discipline is not about teaching kids what's right. It's not about hitting. It's about teaching kids what's right and what's wrong, so that way they can be held accountable when they're grown adults. So therefore, they can self-discipline. When you choose the behavior, you choose the consequences. So if your child decides that, okay, he wants to go set his brother's hair on fire, then he chooses the consequences of getting punished. He gets his things taken away. And we all know, this thing goes viral, and the mom gets arrested, and even then people went in saying that, you know, this was not only on this was not only this hot sauce mom. If you watch the Peter Pan family from Super Nanny, the father used the same hot sauce. He's like, you want to get sauce? Okay. Again, we're not playing these tapes because I don't want to get demonetized. We are describing it to you. Trust me, if I had permission, then it would be a whole different story. It was a 4-year-old. And this was 5 years ago. But it's fake. It's a fake parent. I mean,
your mouth washed out with soap because you cursed.
And this right here. This video is fake. Our parents are psycho. They are amazing parents. I believe I believe this was fake. I'm agreeing with this. I agree it's fake. And this is something you should not do. Putting soap in a child's mouth. Okay? You want to put... What are we thinking here, you know? Putting soap in her child's mouth? It tastes terrible. Chemicals will be put in there for crying out loud. You was soap to get your child to listen? Okay, well, you don't want to listen to me? There you go. Eat some soap. It's terrible. That's what you get, motherfucker. I don't condone in spanking, hot sauce, and soap in the mouth. I don't condone. I don't even condone you putting a toilet scrub in your mouth. Oh, you don't want to listen to me? Well, here's the toilet scrub. Put that in your mouth. Now make it listen. And I'm against abusive parents, you know. I'm against abusive parents that do anything to discipline their child. You know, there are other methods. You know, you can take away a toy. It's currency, like watching a video or a stuffed animal. You don't send a 2-year-old to go clean up the room and dust the furniture. You gotta define your child's currency. It's commando parenting, you know. You got to have a certain rhythm. Parenting is an equal partnership. Not one parent versus the other like Kung Fu. I mean, these are the kid punishments. Top 5 of these were punished by the parents. We're not gonna...
What's up, everyone, and welcome back to Top 5 All Time. Before... All you have to do is hit subscribe on our YouTube channel, leave a like on this video.
Let's take a look at this
Number
one.
5 is definitely a pretty funny one, and I know it's a video that a lot of you guys probably enjoy. Because I know a lot of you guys enjoy the whole videos where parents kind of destroy their kids' electronics for, acting up, or, just not doing what they're doing.
I am against this. Parents destroying their kids' electronics. I mean, it's not a good discipline tool. They'll just say, if you don't listen to me, I'll pop your football. If you don't listen to me, I'm going to break your Xbox. When you bought that with your son's money, you take it away. You don't get a hammer. You know what? Let's take a look at this. This video... Take a look at this video of a father who forced his son to destroy his Xbox. Here's the original, and we're going to hear from Judge Tim Black in just a minute. But let's take a look at the original video. I'm appalled by this. Take a look.
That's not my fault.
Let's go.
It's not my fault that I didn't get him.
Let's go.
It's not my fault that I didn't get him, though.
Let's go. You got 3 weeks, Jason. Let's go.
It's not my fault. My
Too
teacher
bad.
didn't want to give it
Let's
me.
go.
It's not my fault.
Now.
I hate my life.
Let's go. Let's go. Next one. Joe, next one. Let's go.
No.
Excuse you? Pick up the fucking sledgehammer and smash it.
But it's not my fault.
Now.
It's not my fault.
Okay.
It's my teacher's fault.
Let's go. Let's go, Jason.
I can't.
Do it. Do it or I do it. Do it or I'm gonna do it.
I can't.
Yeah, you can.
I can't.
Yep, you're gonna do it right now.
I can't.
Let's go.
I can't do it.
You're gonna do it right now, Jason. Let's go. I'm tired of waiting. Let's go, Jason. Pick up the fucking hammer and do it.
It's all about, I don't agree with with this father's decision to destroy the electronics. Social media parenting. That's not parenting, it's not teaching them a lesson. This is not appropriate parenting. It's not. Then what do you call this? You would call it not teaching a lesson. That's not parenting. You had 3 weeks. Well, you could have just taken the game away, and where's the common sense? Why do we resort to filming our kids, forcing them to destroy the things that they love? When you bought your child the Xbox, and you forced him to destroy it. I would not force my nephew to destroy everything he loves. I wouldn't pop his football. I would not destroy his Xbox. I want to go shred games on a mower. I would not do that. There comes a time in which you need to say to yourselves, you know what? I am a bad parent. This one got over 300,000 views, and this was almost 10 years ago. I'm not a parent, but I can't feel that locking the Xbox in the cover may have been a better first step than smashing it. Why doesn't this dad just lock this Xbox when they get it back when he gets better grades? Exactly. You know, you gotta learn what it's like to be a parent, you know? This was also it's also on Tim Black. Judge Tim Black.
I'm Judge Tim Black.
So here's what Tim Black had to say.
Some of the people watching this video are crying right now. Some of them are angry. Just angry. I'm glad the little boy's name is Jason. I'm glad Jason didn't freak out and take that sledgehammer and hit Dad with it. Kids love their video games. Oh, and the video console? Now, Jason didn't care too much about that Xbox One. But that Xbox 360, man, he couldn't do it. Broke down. Can't do it. Can't do it, Dad. And then at one point, it's like Jason's contemplating. Should I take this sledgehammer and hit Dad in the leg with it? Should I do it? If I do it, will I get away with it? These are the things he was thinking, Dad. All right, so let me get to this, man. Let me give you some background, first of all. Now, some people are upset with Jason's father about this. Said Jason's father's totally wrong. Let me say this. First of all, he gave the kid a chance. Yeah. 3 weeks ago, before he did this, he said, I need you to bring this grade up. I need you to do your homework and do a better job. And apparently, Jason failed to do that. But my thing is this. Is 3 weeks long enough to really have a kid bring up grades? I don't think it is. I think you at least got to give him a grading period, like a whole grading period. That's what I would think, right? The other problem I had with this is that maybe, just maybe, you shouldn't destroy the thing he loves. Maybe you should take it and put it away. That's what I've done. I would take it and put it away and say you need to focus on your studies. And once you've shown me that you can focus on your studies, then I'll give it back. But it's sort of a two-way street. I mean, if your son is getting all these bad grades, maybe he's just a little dumb. I don't mean dumb in everything. Maybe he's just dumb in certain classes. Maybe he needs tutoring. Maybe he needs, after school study or study hall or something. If you just make a kid hate life, which is what Jason said, I don't know if that works for you. But all that being said, at least Dad is involved. You see Dad doing something. Now, I'm not going to say it was 100% the best thing I could see him doing, tearing up a $150 piece of equipment. But hey, he's involved. He cares. And he's not hitting the kid with the sledgehammer. He having the kid hit the toy. So come on now. Some of the stories I've done, I've seen some crazy stuff. So I got to give Dad props for not being too crazy. All right, time for my verdict, people. I, Tim Black, Judge Tim Black, find Dad guilty of being a good dad. A dad who cares about his son, a dad that's actually involved in his son's life. But I find Dad to be emotionally upset, handing out punishment while upset. And I do think Dad could have did a better job at maybe, keeping the thing that the kid values, because now he don't value nothing. And if he does bring the grades up, Dad got to go out and spend more money. Come on, Dad. But all that being said, Dad, I exonerate you for being a bad dad. You're not a bad dad, Dad. You're a good dad, Dad. You're the type of dad that just needs some other tools, maybe some suggestions.
Okay. What I'm saying here is this. We don't need, it's all over social media, social media parenting, You embarrass your child. There was this one story that I saw of a dad forcing his son to walk to school because he thinks it's okay to hit people on the bus. And we live in society today where we don't take responsibility for our actions. We choose the behavior, we choose the consequences. It's all over the internet these days. Parents destroying their kids' electronics because, they're failing their classes. And, they're not doing what they're damn well told. Take a look at this one.
Xbox? What are you in the Xbox for?
There's nothing to do. Well, there's nothing to do. I said, what is that?
See this.
No. I'm going to cut it over.
Rock ballers.
Gosh, Joey! Oh my God! Oh my God!
Holy shit. Holy shit. Can you fuck?
Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my God! Ah! Ah! Xbox! Oh my God! Turn the camera on!
If this was a parody of the McJuggerNuggets Psycho series, okay, it probably wouldn't be, but it prompted the creation of it. My advice to you parents out there is, if you're going to discipline your child or take things away, you cannot destroy them. It's what your child loves. Your child loves his or her the toys. What are you going to do? Destroy their toys? You think that'll send the message out there? That's not going to send the message out there, We live in a society today where kids don't trust the parents no more because they're going to destroy their stuff. And you bought them. You bought your child the Xbox. You bought your child that TV. It's always, Christmas or your birthday or whatever. And, we live in a society today where we don't take responsibility for our actions. Parents destroy electronics. And, stuff needs to get done here. We shouldn't be having our kids' stuff destroyed. We should have it taken away. And forceful parenting. Dad makes his son walk to school because he picked on somebody. Well, destroy what we return. Social media parenting. You take a video camera. Here's a recipe for social media parenting. You take your camera on your phone. You take a situation to where a child picks on somebody, and you force them to walk to school, and you post on social media for everybody to see. That's your recipe for social media parenting. Years ago, a daughter was forced to walk 5 miles to school after she was being kicked off the bus for being a bully. This was almost a 2-minute video. Take a look.
A little background into this video that's being shot this morning. This lovely lady is my 10-year-old daughter, who has, for the second time this school year, been kicked off the school bus due to bullying another student. Let me make this extremely clear. Bullying is unacceptable, especially in my household. Friday, when my daughter brought home her paperwork for her bus suspension, she said, "Daddy, you're going to have to take me to school next week." As you see this morning, she is learning otherwise. A lot of children today feel that the things their parents do for them is a right and not a privilege. Such as parents taking their children to school in the morning, or even bus rides to school in the morning. All of that is a privilege and should be treated as such. So today, my beautiful daughter is going to walk 5 miles to school in 36-degree weather. I know a lot of you parents are not going to agree with this, but that is all right. Because I'm doing what I feel is right to teach my daughter a lesson and to stop her from bullying. So children, if you're watching this, please understand that bullying is unacceptable everywhere and will not be tolerated.
You know, he may be right about this, but I don't agree he's punishing. I don't agree with his technique. Take away the things that she loves. Ground her. Take away. It's currency. I mean, if you want to drive your child to school, okay. Okay, then drive your child to school and be late for like a whole week. You know, don't go out of your way and just film your daughter in 30-degree weather and say, well, okay, well, since you want to bully people, I'm not going to drive you to school, but I'm going to videotape you walking to school. It can even get you in a lot of trouble. What a horrible guy. Just imagine having such a nut job for a dad. He may votes Democrat. I mean, it's like, punish your child for bullying, you know? Punish her. Take away the things she loves. Bullying is unacceptable. He's right. Bullying is unacceptable. But with his parenting style, that is very unacceptable. If I was in this dad's shoes, I would have thought of something better. Take away the things that she loves. Defining the child's currency. That's commando parenting right there, buddy. And here's one. This dad teaches him a lesson. He makes him run to school in the rain. Is this how you want to teach your child? Take a look.
Alright everybody, welcome to You Better Listen to Your Dad 2018. Any of y'all know me know I've got 2 wonderful children, Hayden, my son at 10, my daughter, Temperance at 8. Well, my son has finally got in trouble on the bus enough to where he got actually kicked off the bus for 3 days because he was being a little bully, which I do not tolerate, cannot stand, and therefore he has to now run to school. We're right about 1 mile from the school, so all week he's got the experience of running to school. The good news is, hey guys, he keeps up a pretty good mile pace at 6 miles an hour so far. Yesterday he was apparently a little rude for Michelle in the morning, so even though it's raining this morning, he still gets to run. This right here is just simple. You know, ironically, since he's been running to school this week, his behavior's been much better. His teachers have approved of his behavior this week. He hasn't gotten in trouble at school this week, where last week he was just absolutely out of his mind. But this right here is just old school simple parenting. This ain't killing nobody. This is a healthy way for a child to be punished because it's, you know, exercise, something that a lot of people don't think children should do anymore, so you just stick them behind an Xbox for the rest of their lives. So this right here is called parenting, guys. If you don't know what it's like, here you go. Teach your child a lesson. You don't have to kill them. You don't always have to beat them, but sometimes it sucks for them, and that's what teaches them. So he's going to be a very fast runner later on because we've always joked he'll either be fast or obedient. So far we're working on fast. But yeah, so we've got a little ways to go. Just wanted to show everybody, give you a good little laugh. But yeah, Thornhill household does not tolerate it. If you don't do what you're supposed to, you'll get punished. And, you know, I get creative with stuff. I've done all kinds of different things, but we're going to make sure that one way or another, his teachers are able to enjoy his company at school. He's not disrupting his classmates and everything else. So if you say we need gun control, people, here you go. This is what we need. Parenting. Very simple thing. Proud gun supporter, love guns and everything else, but I love my children more than anything in this world. So I'm going to take initiative to raise them. I can't lock them in my safe like I can guns. I can control guns easily forever. This I've got to make sure I control now, because when I'm not around, he has free will. So, if you want to figure out what to do, having issues, get creative, be a parent, teach them how to be responsible for their own lessons and accountable for everything they've done, and make sure you're there. My son, in this whole deal the other morning when he knew he was in trouble, he told his sister, he goes, "Daddy's always there for me." He goes, "Daddy's never left me. Daddy's always been by my side. Sometimes I don't like it, but that's what makes him a great dad, because he knows when to bust my butt, and when I'm in trouble, he has to make sure I do right. And that's why he's the best daddy in the world." Coming from a 10-year-old little boy that knew he was going to have to run a mile to school, acknowledging that, hey, that's what a parent's supposed to do. If I screw up, I've got to pay the price. So, my kids do something, that's what they do. They have to pay the price. If they get an allowance, they get fined, just like in real life, people. So teach your kids, most importantly, don't be a friend, be a parent. That's what children need these days, parents. So hope everybody enjoys this, gets a laugh. If you got your panties in the water or watching a kid jog, well, I feel sorry for you. You're probably a lousy piece of because if a kid jogging offends you, then get your ass off the couch. You probably need a lap or two. But I'm sure someone will get all bent on shit. "Oh my God, child abuse, a child running." Yep, I'll let you know when your son's getting the 45 out of my safe. Y'all have a blessed day. God bless and enjoy. And if you need anything for your kids, you can feel free to send them to Brian's Boot Camp. No charge. Happy to get kids going. Thanks, guys.
No charge for boot camp? Here's where I stand on this. You can't force them to walk. You can force them to walk to school. But you should take away Xboxes. This guy was on Dr. Phil with 3.2 million views. I laughed out loud, started to say, they say, "You better be fast or obedient. We're working fast right now." But that kid makes his own choice. I look back at this one and realize what a wonderful father he was. This kid gonna have crazy cardio when he beats up the next kid. Some people may be behind this father, some people may sit there and say they're against this. When the mind fails to comprehend, the body must be punished. Hell yeah, brother. Fell against the school. Have a great day at school. This is what they can. You too. If you say we need gun control people, that's what we need. Parenting. Here's parents that teach their kids a lesson. Like a dad sits in the son's class to teach a child a lesson, but we're not gonna have time for that. We'll have that for you coming up. We'll have that for you on Wednesday. Coming up on Wednesday, family first. From arguing with your parents, raise your child's IQ to knowing your kids, to even the 14 characteristics of a serial killer. We're going to teach you how to put family first. So that promised on the season premiere preview, and it's something we're going to talk about It's something we're going to talk about on Wednesday and Friday. So look for that. So look for family first. That's Give Me a Break for this Monday. We'll see you again for Give Me a Break Wednesday. For a special Give Me a Break Wednesday. For all of us here at YouTube, man, give me a break. Stop bullying. Speak up. Concentration, not strength. No jaywalking. Your body, your choice. I hope you've had a great day. Have a good night.